cheese.
Going live. Hello, hello, everyone. How is everyone?
Hello.
Hello. We have.
Hello. Well,
Hi, Nexus.
see. No one can see the raccoon in the upper left.
You can always see the raccoon is always in the upper left.
I'm camouflaged. I'm blending in.
Oh, there's Silver.
Perfect timing.
Yep. I'm great at what I do. What can I say? Are we gonna have an ace today? I don't actually know what he's up to.
We've asked repeatedly if he's alive, and I haven't gotten any answers. So,
yeah.
You want me to call him?
Sure. Call him live on stream. You're like, hey, babe, you're live on stream.
Yeah.
Babe, where you at? We live.
Yeah. Okay. 1 sec. I'll call him.
One Mississippi.
What's up, my genders? How are my genders?
I don't know.
My genders.
Are the raccoons like the uncertainty principle? You can either observe the gender or observe how many raccoons they are, and not at the same time.
The trick is you're never guessing the collective gender of the raccoons. Every guess at the gender is just a raccoon.
Exactly. But hey, yeah, how's everyone's audio levels? Is everyone can hear things? I got a light rain background going on. Actually, Mitha, is there you were talking about playlists? Where are they? Should I put those on, or is that going to be more of an install?
I mean, what are you asking exactly?
For
I don't
for
understand your question.
For wizards.
Oh, all of them. Cat, absolutely everything that I have used in the shows is in the sources. I know this is like everybody's first time actually like diving into anything to do with the file structures and the organizations of how I keep the files to make the show, but like I I keep everything.
I know. I know you do.
Yeah, but y'all don't pay attention. I had to teach Ace. Like it's all in there.
Did Ace answer?
No.
Didn't think
Oh,
so.
well.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly he's out howling at the moon or something.
Clearly.
I mean, it's sunny here now. That fucker's in the same time zone as me.
It aced it.
As far as we're aware, you know, he could
A
be
terminal
in another
disease
country
known as
right now.
cats on my chestitis.
Ah, very good. Have you considered petting them?
So what you're saying
The
is
only
you have
way,
pussy.
really.
Damn, that makes one of us. All right. So, Trans XP TTRPG.
Yeah, that thing we do.
Yeah.
Well, we're specifically talking about our Wizards game here.
Yes. Why don't everybody go around and just kind of talk about their main concept for the character, how that came about.
Actually, I've written down a whole bunch of things for this. I had a suggestion. Let's
Please
start
go.
with telling the story of how this game came about, shall we?
I mean, it's a pretty simple story.
Okay.
At least from my memory, I remember just coming up with the title and it's like, okay, well, that's what we're doing now.
Okay, when
It's
did
a
this
pretty
happen?
simple. It's a pretty simple story. End of sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, originally,
Is that
basically,
what y'all's memories are? I remember hearing the name and be like, yeah, that's the concept for the show.
I mean, it started off as us half joking about like J.K. Rowling being a garbage human and being like, what if only only like trans people could be wizards, you know? And then the title came to that be fuck it, only trans people can be wizards. And we were like, well, let's just do that actually.
Yeah.
So it kind of started off as like a little bit of a joke.
Was it before or after the Halloween special?
I don't remember. Time is a mystery.
Time is a soup.
Yeah.
I just remembered like it was somewhere around the Halloween game. I don't remember if it was before or after, and then like that's the first I heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I remember very specifically at the time that I was just like, we were coming off of Bot 2099, and I'm like, I want something a little lighter, please.
We need something lighthearted, and then it turned into Mitha's character's mother is an oppressive force.
Hey, that was
is
your
a
idea,
complete
Mitha. That wasn't
transphobe,
mine.
And then it just continued from there.
Done right. Okay.
Exactly.
When did I ever say it wasn't? What? Huh?
Hello, Schloomp. Hello, Tara.
Hi, Tara. Welcome in, Tara.
Hi, welcome in. Also, Malnim, exactly. Like, a lot of the times, ideas can come from a lot of different places, especially when you're creative. But a lot of it is just brainstorming and yapping with your friends,
Mhm.
and then you come up with something that you really like.
Yeah.
Another cutie who needs to hydrate. Yes, Selena is our hydration officer.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
Selena
absolutely
is our
Selena's
hydration
role.
officer slash pink piss kink enjoyer. I mean, what?
What
I
come
mean,
from? What?
is there a difference? You know,
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either.
Look,
What was that?
why
Nothing.
else would you be asking us to hydrate so much, Selena? This
Yeah.
is becoming an intervention. We're accusing you.
Exactly. But yeah, the original idea for the series truly just came from. I mean, it also. I mean, it's similar to the entire reason our group was started in the first place, right?
Yeah.
There is a lack of trans representation in fiction in general, and even more so, actually, right on that topic. I don't know if anybody has seen more recently. I think it was like HBO or something. What is the fucking? It's the Last of Us show, and guess who they cast as a trans man? They cast a cis woman to
Yeah.
play the trans man. It's like, so you just see us as cis people dressed up. Go fuck
Yeah.
yourself. You
Well,
know?
to be fair, it's like this is also. I mean, isn't HBO also owned by Warner Brothers, which is the same company that recently went all in on J.K. Rowling and the Wizard properties?
I don't know if it's actually an HBO show. I said that, but I'm not actually sure. That wouldn't surprise me. Like, yeah, of course that tracks.
Like, because
Also,
Warner Brothers has just basically gone all in on the transphobia lately.
there was
Uh,
also. Go ahead, Mitha.
the same thing with like Epic Games.
Hmm.
Uh, because the problem is we live in a country or countries plural where a few companies, a few major megacorps open everything, and a lot of this stuff is all connected.
Yeah.
And like Epic Games Store, also, as a result of this, gone all in on like Harry Potter and transphobia. It's like
Hmm.
Okay.
there's like singular roots here.
Yeah.
So there's a crazy fucking advertisement that was just released for Universal Studios.
I think you might have
Harry
sent this
Potter.
to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Harry Potter Wizarding World, and it's this
God.
like very alleged. Well, in the outside, without understanding what the concept of the ad is, it's very diversity and a gender non-conforming person and some queer people, and they're all getting excited about this thing. And then surprise, it's Harry Potter. that
Yeah.
they're It's like it's fucking insane. It's like, yeah,
I
no,
mean,
that's totally what this is about. God, fuck. It's like, don't worry. You don't need to feel bad for J.K. Rowling hating queer people. Look at these queer people that also like Harry Potter. That
yeah.
was the ad.
Yeah, they were
Really
doing
nice.
the same thing on like Epic Games because when
Yeah.
with Epic Games advertising the new Harry Potter content in Fortnite, they were like, "Oh, here's a bunch of like of character skins for Fortnite where they're wearing like a trans flag or a pride flag because we're totally cool with LGBT and it's about these are all like Harry Potter skins for Fortnite." And it's like, who
Yeah.
signed off on this?
Nobody
Like,
queer.
yeah, it's clearly a bunch of cishet, white, straight, able-bodied, neurotypical people in a boardroom at Warner Brothers are just like, the cognitive dissonance is real. Exactly, Tara. Exactly.
And if there is a gay person in the room, they're gay, but they're not queer because queer
Yes.
is an identity.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. I more recently went to a munch for the first time, which if you're It's not just a queer thing, but well, kink and queerness are very intertied, especially if we're talking about queerness as
We
the culture.
begrudgingly have to let the straights do kink. It's the
Yeah.
healthiest thing they can do with their aggression.
God. But but I had a discussion with some of because obviously I went to a munch that was specifically like poly people, and so like yeah, no kidding, everyone that was there was like there was a huge chunk of people that were trans, and it was really cool. But we actually had the discussion about like how um, the difference between being queer, like just like the label that means like you identify somewhere underneath the umbrella, and being queer culturally. And that was like a discussion that was had there with a couple of the people, because it is very different. And obviously, all of the people that were there were culturally queer. Um, and like that's one of those things where it's like there's also discussions where people need to not just have these discussions online. They do need to have them in person with people, you know? Um, you can't, because, like, I'm sorry, the comment section of a YouTube video is not like community, you know? That's not the real community. And I don't know, there's also just discourse that happens where it's like, that's not existing anywhere outside of this very particular place on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm getting off track. Somebody fucking derailed the conversation.
All right. So, I
my
mean,
first
ultimately,
memory of talking
ahead, Andrew.
about this particular game was when I saw, and looking at the stream right now, you see this logo in the background that is playing with the characters, and then, fuck it, only trans people can be wizards. The characters hadn't been drawn yet, so they didn't exist yet. But this, the hand with the magic orb and the title was the first thing that I remember Silver created. And it's sort of the first thing that I saw. I'm like, oh, this is actually happening. Okay.
We don't play.
I mean,
Talk a little bit about making this logo, could you, Silver?
Yeah, I mean, so I work a lot in Canva, even for taking my commissions. But sometimes I will do work. I will do some parts of stuff depending on what I need to do in other art programs. Canva, I hate how much fucking AI shit Canva has, but it's literally impossible to escape because it's in every fucking art program now, and I I hate it so much. But unfortunately, Canva is accessible and makes it easy for me to do a lot of this stuff. Um, and so that's what I use to do it.
Just don't use
But
the AI features.
I don't exactly. That's exactly what it is. But it sucks because it's literally in every fucking part of it. It's quite nightmare fuel. But anyway, so a lot of the times, God, I'm glad I'm not gonna show what Pat has seen. What my I'm like, what the fuck do I even call It's not really sketching because it's a lot of the way that putting together
Storyboarding?
stuff, huh?
Storyboarding?
Yeah, I'm like kind of. Essentially, I just grab a shit ton of assets, right? So the way that they
Concepting?
can
I would
be
call it concept
concepted.
art. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's correct. It's like concepting. I'm grabbing a lot of different assets from from like what I can see within the Canva like catalog. I'm grabbing a bunch of stuff. I'm putting it together, and I'm throwing stuff together to see what works, right? So I know the general vibe, drafting, concepting, brainstorming. Yeah, drafting, I guess, because the thing is, it's not like the typical thing where I'm necessarily sketching. But I guess when it comes to digital art, like it's not that uncommon for people to grab a bunch of stuff from the internet anyway, and then throw them together. Um,
Yeah.
but whatever. The main thing is that I take a bunch of assets and then I just mess around with them, see what looks right. Um, and then from there I kind of go. So a couple of the things that I definitely wanted is I wanted there to be I wanted the colors to be like purple and blue. That was definitely the first thought that I had because for me, purple and blue for some reason definitely gives magic.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think that's
Yeah.
absolutely the vibe. Because
And
purple and blue mix together to be really mystical.
yeah, right. So those were the color palettes that I knew that I wanted pretty early on. I'd messed with some other ones, but I very quickly decided on the color palette that I wanted. And then from there, it's a matter of putting the assets together. Also, like especially for the way that Canva works, putting together and the way that you're like able to animate individual assets. I'm so happy with how I was able to make it come out for the orb. It looks fucking
Orb,
awesome.
orb, 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 orb.
Yeah. The other thing that I do too, is, and this is more recent. I don't know if I used to do it before, but but now it's like just part of my standard process, both for when I do commissions, but also for whenever I make anything for, um, good orb. Thank you,
Yes.
and
Hey, Chad, who out
welcome.
pondering their orbs?
Yes, and welcome to the Yap session.
Welcome to
For
the
your
app
first,
session.
welcome to the Yap session. What? How do I say that? V for Vansa. Vansa? No, I'm fucking dyslexic. It's an L.
Valnessa? That's
Valnessa?
my guess. Valnessa is my guess.
Honoring and respecting the orb.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
but Chad, and not. I don't know why I'm going. This joke is me going into being like a right with grifter podcaster. You can't ponder your own orb. That's how you get your mana sapped. You got to get other people to ponder your own orb.
What
All right.
the fuck? What
I
the
don't know.
fuck?
Look, jokes come off my brain in weird ways sometimes.
And we think that's like so lovely of you.
This is what Mitha editing these is for, so all my bad jokes get removed.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Listen, once I stop talking about this, we are definitely gonna have time for Mitha to talk about the editing process. Our other editor who started editing.
We're gonna get to the editing later.
Yeah,
We're
there will
so
be time for
sorry,
that.
Mitha. It wasn't anyone's fault necessarily, but like, God, we had several massive hurdles that you were so happy that you were sorry we put you through, but I'm so glad that you went through it. But yeah,
Yeah,
Valnessa, is that how you pronounce that? Valnessa? How do you pronounce name?
yes, please tell us, because we will unfortunately otherwise just keep fucking saying it wrong.
Several massive orbs, yes.
Mm.
Valenza. Valenza?
Oh, Valenza.
Gotcha.
Valenza.
Thank you.
Ah, thank you. Um, but yes, what the fuck were we saying before we got here?
You were talking
Oh,
about creating
We
the
were talking
logo.
about huge, massive
right.
orbs.
Right. The orb. But one of the things that I more recently started doing, and I do it all the time now, is I will look for specific fonts, because I find that Canva has like base options like anywhere else does, but I like getting weird with them sometimes. Um, and so I looked for one that was specifically mimicking a particular bitch, is the fucking series, and I was like, it was kind of great. It was literally perfect, and so I used that, and I was like, awesome. Like the idea, it's interesting trying to hit the balance of like we want to create completely our own thing, while also giving a middle finger to a particular person,
Mm-hmm.
which is, by the way, also why I spent a very long time with the artist designing the uniforms. Because you'll see the uniforms are very specific. And
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time, I even sketched out some stuff because I'm an artist myself, but doing like full concept art like this is not super my thing. But I'm able to like draw in general. Um, and so some of the things that we did as well um, for the outfits is I took inspiration from historical Scottish clothing, and so you can see it on those like trying those like diamond shaped buttons, and you can also see it, although we don't see it super well right here, but on the cuffs as well is present in like older. Oh, thank you. Oh my god, what the fuck? You have the pictures? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got.
Um,
I
Put
got.
that back, Cat. Put it back.
I did. I'm going. I just want it to fit to the screen, so it's not. covering everything.
That's so cool. I didn't realize you had the pictures up. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
I'm just doing a little bit of live editing over here.
Yeah, yeah. No worries, no worries. No, that's great. I didn't know you had them like ready to go. That's awesome. Um, so you'll see it in a second then, because Kat's setting it up. But the concept art for, yeah. So you can see like, you see how it's kind of there's like it cascades upwards. The triangles on the cuffs. Um,
Right.
that
Sorry, Silver.
specifically. Yeah. So the cascading cuffs on the side. And them being diamonds specifically, you can't see it super well here. Maybe you can zoom in can you zoom into the cuffs? Because I want to see if you can see it if you zoom in a little better. But there's like a slit. There's slits going up from um, the bottom upwards. I don't know if you can really see it, but the idea with that,
This doesn't exactly have a zoom feature.
yeah, I'm like, how the fuck do you even? Sorry, being fucking nerdy as shit. But anyway, you can kind of see the lines, right? And that entire like design feature was directly taken from some old Scottish um, like things that I had seen. I also didn't want it to be like a cape, but I wanted it to be more like kind of like a scarf situation, but still with the classic plaid that you see a lot of like Scots. It was like very traditional in a lot of Scottish clothing. Um, Also, they have their own meaning. Like different plaid patterns had their own meanings, and I was doing research, which was really interesting. Um, but obviously, we kind of did our own thing because it's supposed to be like in a fantasy setting. But so that didn't really end up coming to um, like we didn't end up using a pattern that already means something. For example, we just kind of went with a more like quote unquote basic plaid pattern. Um, but yeah, and also something that I wanted personally to add a bit of queer flair, but also I did see it in some of the Scottish
Here's a better
wear
close-up
as
on all
well.
that.
Was the short uh, like shirt top, right? Was the short like vest itself. Oh, there you go. Yes, thank you. See, you can see the lines going up, but that entire specific design was taken from like old Scottish traditional wear. Like, yeah. Um, you don't see it in this because it was added after, but there we then added a belt, which you can see in our the final design because you see it on the actual characters themselves. But yeah, and the thing with also with the like little bows as well, I quite liked, and the sweater vest was also relatively common in more modern wear, like for like traditional like school outfits. So there's a lot of mix of different influences that went into creating um, the uniforms themselves. Because the idea that I was hoping was like, is that if people wanted to make their trans character, draw their trans character going to the school, it would be very apparent because they would just be wearing one of the school uniforms, right? I wanted people to be able to make their own OCs if they wanted to. Um, was it perhaps ambitious, considering we are still relatively small? Maybe, but I don't know how to chill. So
Look, we'll have weird fanfic communities eventually.
I look
Weird,
forward to
weird affectionately, obviously.
it. Well, naturally. But yeah, so that was the
We'll
idea
have our
anyway.
own smart tag on AO3 one of these days.
God, I look forward to it. I mean, listen, I feel like it's gonna be Fang and something else and something weird and fucked up. I guarantee it. Um, But anyway, so yeah, that was I think that's pretty much all I. Oh, also, wait. I do want to talk about the logo. So the Celtic knot that's there is that symbol that specific knot because they all mean different things. This one means protection. It's supposed to be like a shield, and so for a group full of trans people, it being a shield felt very like appropriate, you know. Um, and then
And
also the
unicorns are pretty gay.
well, unicorns are Yay, but also, again, unicorns are also like on a lot of Scottish crests.
Yes.
They are like a very like sacred and like mythical creature from Scottish folklore, and tied into Scottish culture, and so it felt extremely accurate. And again, I was very pleased with um, like how all of this came out. So, and yeah, again, the purple being the color of of the thing itself. I did actually end up editing the colors um, myself of the crest because initially the gray color of the crest or the silver color of the crest was very purple, and so I just edited it myself to make it a more silver color. Um, anyway, I there are
Have no
benefits to being an
children.
artist yourself. Working with other artists is sometimes you're like, I want this to be changed, and you can just kind of do it yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I think that's mostly like to talk about the outfits themselves and how they came together, and also like the layouts as well. There was a version of the layouts initially that I think I remember some of you guys seeing, um, that I then had to change because for some reason I was having problems with Canva with those particular assets. They were not rendering properly every time I tried to export it, and so I just had to redo them entirely, which was very annoying. But I think it's for the better because I really do like the layouts that we came up with in the end. Oh, I guess I came up with the layouts in the end. Um, and so I think it was for the best dans le fond in the end. Well, fuck, I've said it in the end too many times. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I did. Oh yeah, and you can see the belts on the characters here. Um,
Yes.
and
I
then
know one little thing about the outfits that I wanted but nobody else did is I wanted
yeah,
that little midsection to be a midriff, but nobody wanted it to be a midriff. And I was like, it's your characters. I just wanted to see a little bit of tummy.
here's the thing. I think I think Alex. Although we did lose Azure, is Azure coming back?
Yeah,
I
he's
thought.
just getting food.
Okay,
He
that's what I
already ate.
saw, but I
Ah.
didn't realize that Azure. I thought it was going to be like a 2 second thing. So, um,
He probably
I
just
think
didn't want to eat on mic or whatever.
that's valid. I think the only person that it would have made sense to be have a midriff would have been Alex. Um, but I don't think it would have been Alex at the beginning. It would have been Alex like later, you
Okay.
know. Because I think Alex at the beginning was still pretty nervous. I mean, Alex fell into being a hoe very fast, but at the beginning, Alex was still getting to know the lay of the land and everything. Um,
Okay, now we come to the thing that I wanted to talk about. The hoe side of this.
yes, the character is a
Okay,
hoe.
so there is a
Hey,
story
hey,
here.
hey! Your character was a hoe. She's just a hoe for her girlfriend. Okay.
There is a story here that I'm going to tell. Okay,
Yes.
so very early on in the early production,
Misa, can
uh,
I say no before you go? If you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say, I am gonna. You cannot, because we had this discussion before, and it was just a misinterpretation of what happened.
I just think it's funny. I have always thought it was just funny.
Okay.
But yes, feel free to jump in. You're part of this discussion too, my man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so in one of the earlier recordings, there was a scene where it was just sort of we decided. I want to say it was the first episode, and everybody is like, okay, so who's the ho? Who's going to be the hoe for this series? And I was in my design for Nuri, she actually very much fit that bill, and I'm just like, but like everybody just sort of jumped in. It's like, oh no, it's Alex, and I'm just like, ah, okay,
Which the problem is
whatever.
that no. Which the problem is that nobody said no. It's Alex, and it's not you. Um, which is why I'm always like, that isn't
It's not.
quite.
It's not that we shot down the idea. It's that the idea that we didn't really hear Mitha the first time she said it, and the only time she said it.
Yeah.
So it just kind of faded into the background, and then it became a thing later.
Yeah.
When I pointed it out,
Because what happens a lot of the times also when we're having discussions, which like we're talking about behind the scenes, so this is actually a good moment to talk about it anyway. And especially
exactly.
when we are discussing like what we're gonna do for a series and whatnot. Like, there's a lot of discussions of like, okay, what kind of character do we want to make? What is There's also consideration, like it's very collaborative, I think, in a way that is different from, because us as a group, we also play games on occasion, like together, all of us, but that isn't like recorded. Like we'll do some just for fun, um, but the process for that is very different from when we make a show like this. I think I was reading at one point on Tumblr that there was a person, and they got a lot of engagement, so I guess a lot of people agreed with them. Although I didn't agree with the take, which was like that they were upset because they were like, oh, this is like, if you want to if you want to do a an improv show, just do an improv show. Don't do like TTRPGs if you're not actually going to do TTRPG stuff, right? And I think their whole thing was like the idea of stuff being like scripted or curated, and that being like a problem. Um,
Nobody
and like,
does that who does TTRPG shows, though.
which is, yeah. Now
Like, what?
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. I think that it's like they feel like there's too much. I think what it comes down to ultimately is that this person was, oh, the dog arrives. We have a puppy.
Sorry. Hi.
Oh my God,
Hold
are you
on.
okay?
Yeah,
I
are you
just
good
woke up.
there?
Yeah, give my throat a second. We're getting water. Give it a second.
All right,
Okay.
Ace has got to go film his sexy ASMR video real quick.
Yeah,
Hope you guys
clearly.
don't mind.
Although sexy ASMR or like sick dog, because it does sound a little more like sick dog.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
you
depending.
don't sound great.
Look, according to conversations that I've had about Yowie in the past couple of days, sick, pathetic man absolutely sounds like some sexy ASMR some of you freaks would listen to.
That is, you know what? That is true. Fair enough. You do have a point there.
I have an incredibly valid point.
Yeah, I cannot argue with that, actually.
The
So
number
jumping
of times
back
I
to
have
the
said,
to the
"Look,
topic,
I am just into sad, pathetic men."
jumping back to the topic. So
Yeah.
I was fully prepared to have Nuri be the Ho character, but it's like, oh, it's Alex, and I'm just like, okay.
I mean,
Well-
to be fair, Mitha,
Mm-hmm.
Alex is not the one doing the spicy episode. Me and you are
Nope.
doing the spicy episode. So
Yes,
who
it
gets
is.
to
It is still something that I'm planning to record. I still have
And-
all of the spell list ready to
and
go.
Kara, I will promise you there'll be plenty of girl tummy in that episode.
Fan
Also-
artists, start your art.
Also, like, another thing as well is that when we did, like, because, well, right, what I was talking about before, is like sometimes, especially when we're having like, in-depth discussions about character stuff, we're all throwing shit at the wall and we're just going to see what sticks. And a lot of that has to do with like, not just talking about character stuff, but also talking about like, character stuff in between one another. So dynamics, right? So if we're talking about, is there a character that's going to be a hoe? It could have been that none of them were, and also like there's when you're doing stuff with friends, there's also something that happens where you're like, is it going to be, are you like, and you're friends, but you're also discussing like a show that you're creating. There's the line between like, okay, we're discussing like quote unquote businessy stuff, but we're also making jokes between each other. And so sometimes things can get like lost within that as well. But we have really good communication, and generally we're able to like suss out what happened if someone feels like something that they said wasn't heard. And which
And
is
we're
why we
constantly
discussed
working
after,
on
and
our
we were like,
communication.
Hmm?
And we're constantly working on our communication.
yeah, I mean, also like it is a consistent process as well. It's not like
Yeah.
a one-time thing, you know. And especially like as we add more people to the group, Ace, for example,
Hi, Ace.
you learn how to discuss,
Hi.
how to have conversations and have communications with each other as you go. Like Misa and I know that our autisms sometimes beat the
Don't
shit out of each
gel.
other. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do opposing things that like make us misinterpret each other in ways that sucks. Um, and so, but we know that about ourselves, and so we are pretty good. We've gotten very good between us of like when that happens, we know that generally all we need is to like step away for a day or so, or even just a couple hours, depending on what it is, and come back to it then. And generally having Kat be a little bit of a translator for our autisms.
The
Mhm.
autism whisperer.
Yeah, the autism whisperer has been very good for us to be able to like uh, come to an understanding of what we were trying to say to each other. And also, like, the number one thing too, when you're working in a group, is you have to trust and know that you love each other. Like it's coming from a place of love, and you're not ever hating each other. Like that's not ever where it's coming from.
Well,
Um,
I one thing I will say on that is I've heard a lot of people try and use the argument of, well, you know better that like I'm not doing this from a place of malice. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes people can change.
this is
And
true.
when somebody that, you have loved and had nothing but good times with for 20 years suddenly turns around and starts misgendering you and denying your gender to your face, well, it's like, I'm sorry, but you have changed. So you may sit there and use the argument. It's like, oh, I'm better than this. Like, yeah, but someone who loves and cares about me is not going to sit there and misgender me to my face. So, like, that argument can cease to apply at that point. So it's like, I would prefer to judge a person based on who you are to me right now. And it's like, right now, miscommunications can happen. That's normal. And it's about how you deal with it.
Mhm.
I think also though, like something you have to remember is there is a stark difference between doing something that is very plainly um, like disrespectful and hurtful in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a lot of the like, because yeah, that you if I suddenly turned around and fucking misgendered you, which would be crazy because I'm also fucking trans, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but whatever, we'll go with it for now. Like as an example, like it doesn't matter how nice I've been to you up to then. That would be a fucking crazy thing for me to do, right?
Yeah, and it's like clearly you would not do that, but I have within the last year I had somebody come to me and make that argument of, me, I'm not like that, and it's like, yeah, but you're still denying the existence of my gender, and it's like this
Mhm.
particular person, just for the record, has been cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the complicated thing of whether something's gaslighting or not is like context dependent, and you can say the same thing and it be very clearly not gaslighting, and one thing that's very clearly gaslighting. It depends on context, and that's what can get frustrating.
Yeah. And it's like, this is not something that Silver did. Like, this is something that
No.
somebody else did. I want to make that very clear.
Yeah. Well, again, would be kind of insane if it was me. I'm literally also trans.
Yeah.
Um, but the point just being mostly that we got a little bit off track, but essentially mostly what we were talking about is just the fact that like
True.
there are a lot of different um, communication styles going on all at once, and
Yeah.
so,
And that's
but
something I
that's
think we've really learned and gotten better at in this series, and I'm really proud of us. I think we've really
yeah,
gotten better at our communication.
yeah, I agree. I think like there are things where like I know that sometimes I have a hard time taking. It's like a personal thing that I've been working on for a very long time. Where because I have this like idea of myself of being very like wanting to do the most immoral thing, where if some and this is I used to be much worse with it. I am better now than I used to be when I was younger, but like um it used to be very hard for me if somebody would tell me that I did something hurtful because I would be like to me it's like I see that as like a failure. Like I failed at something, right? Like I failed at this thing that I try so hard at.
Yeah.
And something that, and it wasn't productive because obviously, like, I took it in a very personal way, which, like, in reality, it's not, you know? Um, in the end, really what it is it's like, you can't know what's going to hurt every single person. You can't, you know? Um, it can
Yeah.
be it can be moments of ignorance towards like a particular slur maybe that you randomly say or that's part of a culture you're not familiar with, or it can be a moment where you say something in general that, the group of people you generally hang out with does not find offensive, but this one particular person does. And in all those instances, it's not like a moral failure to fuck up. It's the
What do you do
true
once
test
you
of your
have?
character exactly is what you do after. Exactly. It's how you deal
Yeah.
with it after.
How do you fix it? How do you make it right? Is how you is the real way to judge somebody's character. And it's like if they double down and triple down, then they are failing. But it's like if we come back the next day and we talk it out and it's fine, then that is the correct way to you've made it right.
Yeah.
There are so many people in my life who have failed this very simple test. It's like, okay, you did a transphobia. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to double and triple down. It's like, okay, well, I'm not. You are now out of my life.
Yeah.
And it's like in like using myself and Silver as an example. Sure, we have very very different autisms and they clash, but we talk it out afterwards and it's fine. And that's how you make a healthy like friendship, in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
exactly.
we're way off the topic of the game.
But I mean, like,
Uh,
I think it's relevant because we are talking about like this is something. This is a something that did happen at the beginning of this game where there was a communication, but it always happens, especially when you're trying to like think about. Right, that's one of the things I want to talk about actually was the fact of like how it works when we are creating these series. Um, So, sneak peek behind, what are the things that we're considering, right? What is different, for example, from typical um, like games that we do? It,
Yay.
yeah. And the biggest thing I would say honestly is that we create our characters so much more collaboratively. So like people still have a lot of freedom with what they do with their character, but I would say like weirdly less than like if you're playing a game just for fun because we are trying to tell a story, you know? And
And like,
go ahead.
um, and like, I think there is like, don't get me wrong, we're definitely gonna have our like quote unquote OC characters, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. But we are trying to like the negative of the like archetypical is like they're everything and they're kind of a like they don't have any weaknesses or they don't have any those types of things, and like they're like the savior but also this thing and then all this type of things, but it's like and they're
Don't get me wrong, Nuri is absolutely an OC of mine, and I love her to death. But it's like I always try to avoid the Mary Sue thing.
yeah, Mary Sue, or she doesn't have OC syndrome, like, not to use a very Tumblr term, but I don't know. And like we're
Like,
thinking about like how do these characters interact with each other, and
That's a big one.
another thing that we learned a lot in this game is, do these characters have a reason to team up?
yes.
And while
That
I
was
think
one
a
thing
lot
we
of
did struggle with. Yeah.
I think that's something that a lot of tables at normal table want to kind of go with, but in almost at a regular table, there's a lot easier to just kind of be like, look, we need to decide a reason why we would go along, and then we go along, and we don't. Whereas here, we're like, no, we need to have a story reason why this happens, and I don't want to
Yeah.
force that, and I don't want these decisions to be made just because, we have a narrative to, we want it to make sense and cohesive. And so focusing on why these characters are sitting down together and what's their connection, what is their purpose, and having that is really important.
And
Yeah.
to back that up as a perfect example, so why would Yasir and Alex want to hang out with their RA.
Yeah. So the idea that we had at the beginning, which again, this is the complicated thing, right? We are making a show, but also we are playing a TTRPG. The dice make the fucking decision
Yeah,
sometimes.
if we were writing this a TTRPG, y'all were supposed to fail and get caught by the teachers. Y'all didn't.
Yeah, we did way too well. Like
You do
it's
way
some of
too
those
well in
instances
that
where-
scene.
Yeah,
If I was writing this like a novel, y'all would have gotten caught. That was the whole
Yeah.
reason y'all were gonna have to stick together.
exactly.
And I can-
The original idea was everybody gets detention, and then Nuri is the one that's helping you out at detention. That
Yeah.
entire thing got thrown out the window because y'all were too good on the first episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all rolled well.
Yeah.
And this is before we buffed the dice pools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I was throwing some real fucking heaters at you in that first episode, and y'all keep passing them.
No, truly. The roles were kind of crazy. And I think that is something that's funny too, is especially when we are doing this as a show, it's funny because we actually hope for bad roles in instances where like I feel like when you're playing maybe more normally, you're maybe hoping for that a little less, like sometimes for a laugh or whatever. But like there are instances where I'm like, I really hope I fail. I want to do something fucked up. Like
Yeah.
then you just don't and you're like, damn it.
Or like
And
another one that I was really hoping Silver would fuck up was the summoning of the school.
Yep. That was crazy.
That was 20 and you hit it like nothing.
Yeah. No, it was insane. What a fucking crazy roll that was.
Yeah,
Like-
like
This is very much a collaborative game. It's like the argument that to be fair, nobody here has made this argument, but it's like, is this actually real play? And it's like, well, yes, because when we record, we may go in with sort of an idea of what we want to happen, but like the actual plan almost never survives contact with actually playing the game.
Yeah.
and I think one of my strongest skills as a GM is rolling with that. Having a plan but rolling with it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
some of my best moments have been that. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like I think there was I still don't know how I feel about the way we resolved the Glebe situation, but I do kind of love the idea of him. Oh, thank you for the follow, Gore Boy.
Gore boy! Fuck, that name is so fucking rad.
You're in the right place.
Hell yeah. Gore boy. Fuck yeah. That's sweet as hell.
That feels like absolutely some like Dove level energy right there.
I
Yeah.
was saying, that seems like one of Dove's aliases.
Dove,
Gore
that
boy.
Welcome.
It's like,
Gore
hey,
boy,
Give the
Captain
Dove,
here.
I didn't know you rebranded.
Speaking
Welcome
of
in.
the,
Hello.
speaking of the pin cushion, Alex.
God, I will say, okay, I want to talk about our favorite. Let's do our absolute favorite things that happened and then maybe some of our least favorites. I think I want to do that. Let's do our favorites first.
Okay.
And I think let's do it this way. Let's name them of the other characters. So I would name them. I would name Nuri and Alex's favorite moments that I have, and then I think we go that way. And then we
Honestly,
can.
I want to know what your guys' favorite moments are for Nuri. So
That's what I'm saying. So
Uh-huh.
All right.
honestly,
Ace,
I'm talking
you
about it,
start.
so I'll go first.
go
Oh,
for
yeah.
it.
Fine.
Oh wait,
I
sorry.
was gonna put
did
Ace
you-
on the spot.
Don't make me
Oh.
stop. Oh no.
Actually, that's great. Well, we'll definitely have Ace do it too because Ace did the editing.
Well, yeah, Ace is doing it. I'm doing it.
Hey, hang on. I am actually going to talk about the editing. We're going to save the editing until later. And then me and Ace are going to talk about the editing of this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
But yeah, Ace and
Um,
I are definitely not off the hook for this. You're required to have an answer.
Oh fuck.
I think, yeah, okay. So, oh god, I'm gonna name a couple of things because there's a few things that I really love about Nuri a lot. One, I love her blank puppy.
Yes.
Like a
So So cute. I love her girlfriend being a fucking moth girl. That is so
big
fun.
fluffy moth girl with
Yeah,
big chubby floof.
yeah. And
Oof.
and one of my favorite things that like it's funny because it's like it's one of those things where like only I really know, or well, only us who have seen it have know about it. Although I'm assuming that we'll be adding that to the Patreon for people to see,
Yes.
which is the list of kink magic that she has. It's so
Yes.
good. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm very curious, Ace, if you have any idea how you're gonna draw this fat chubby moth girl for Mitha.
I
If you want to do an art, you are not required to do an art for
Yeah.
the spicy episode. I would just
No,
be excited to see it if you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Of course I'm gonna be. Of course I am. I mean, if the moth ends up being,
How is your furry?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ace. You're going to have to learn to be a furry artist if you're working with us. It's just gonna happen.
that's fine. I found my first practice furry art from many, many years ago, almost a decade ago. So
Hell
Oh
yeah.
wow.
I know I drew a furry once in my life.
You have to post that.
I don't know what to tell you. I am a furry. You're just gonna have to get used to this.
Exactly. I know.
Wow, you're telling me the Hellhound is going to have to learn how to be a furry? Oh, I'm sure that'll be so difficult for him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll learn.
Okay, so Silver was talking about favorite Nuri moments.
Yeah, Blink Puppy,
Yes.
Kink Magic.
Yes. I think also one of my favorite ones too was actually like the first time like the exchange that her I guess this is more of like a favorite between her and Yasir, but I really loved the interaction that they had when like he was still very standoffish. And truly that never really went away, but like he was very standoffish and she was willing to like meet him where he was at. Um like when like with trusting her with a little bit of his secret, you know. And she was willing to like meet him there, even though that was a little bit hard for her. And I just love that moment a lot. I think it was like a really like lovely moment between them. Um, I think that's probably one of my favorite, at least like in terms of like emotional impact of the relationship between them. And then obviously, I just love her interactions with her girlfriend. I think they were all so cute. It was lovely.
I
Okay,
tried to
yeah,
make that as realistic as I could.
Mm.
I think you did a really good job, like genuinely.
I mean, Mitha, respectfully, I don't think we need to make it particularly realistic. We're both a disaster. We're both hyper romantic lesbians. That's just what we play. We just played ourselves in that moment. Let's be real.
I mean that is true. I was more referring to the Yasir and Nuri moment.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Absolutely.
I was
really
trying
well
to
done.
make that as realistic as possible, where it's like there's a negotiation phase, and I tried to make it where it's like she's trying to reach out to him where he is, but like she's also trying to not compromise her principles.
Yeah.
Because Nuri is one of these characters that, like one of her original core foundational concepts is she has a very strong moral compass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's one of my favorites for Nuri. So I have to do Alex now. I have God. It's terrible because like my favorite things for Alex are all stuff that was fucking painful. Like truly, Alex had I think all of us kind of like clutching our hearts and going, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no!" Like the entire fucking time. Truly the most emotionally good at fucking emotionally wrecking us. Christ. I think I mean one of the most memorable ones is I think was it the first episode or the second one, I don't remember, where Alex is just chugging gender change potions and like
Episode 1.
yeah, and okay, it was literally episode 1.
Pretty sure that happened several times. But the first time it happened was episode 1.
So Alex chugging these gender change potions, body changing to all like every fucking couple seconds, while just making out with a bunch of people. Love that. It was great.
Yeah.
First one and second one, I think. Yeah, exactly. It was
Hi,
so
Sam.
good.
Welcome in.
Oh, hi, yeah, Sam. Welcome in.
Man.
But yeah, that was so good. I loved that. So that was probably that was an early fave. Um, and then the entire fucking thing with Edward a lot was,
Don't get me started.
and I'm gonna
Oh.
kill that guy. Yeah, painful,
Good.
painful the whole way.
Yes.
Like beautiful in terms of like, wow, that's good. Like this character playing this character and everything was masterfully done and setting up like that
Thank you,
entire
thank you.
emotional damage, like real fucking very real.
Oh, what's wrong, Ace? You sound upset.
God, I can't believe you fucking give him a fucking chance to fucking redeem himself. I'm still fucking pissed about that.
Yeah, Asher was like,
that was him being named Edward. That was Silver or was that Azure? Who
Oh,
I
that was
think-
literally while we were playing the episode. I want to say it was Silver that's like making a reference to Twilight, and I'm like, no,
Yes.
no, that's perfect. I'm agreeing
Yeah,
with
I'm
that.
using that now, and that informed his personality
Yep.
even more. Not that I know very much about Twilight, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a joke that then went, well, what if we actually do that though? And I will say, I do remember that I literally wanted to call him Edward Cullen, and Azure struck that down. He was like, no, that's too much. That's too much. I was like, okay, fine, just Edward it is. Yeah, I think those are some of my favorites, honestly.
Right.
Oh, also, I mean, it wasn't like a huge scene, like it didn't last particularly long, but I did like also Alex turning into a slime, just because Slime
Yes.
Boy
Slime
know.
Boy.
was very
Very
fun. So I think those are some of my favorites for those two. And I think
Alright.
that's my turn done.
Oh wait, I have one more request of you.
Yes.
Who is your favorite NPC?
I really like. I'm immediately forgetting his name. What the fuck? He has Medusa hair.
Oh, Basilisk.
Basilisk.
Yes,
Oh, that's gonna be
Basilisk.
my answer.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
love
You
Basilisk.
give me the same answer. I really liked the conversation that I had with you, Silver, with Alex's dad. That was a really good scene.
Yeah. It was great. I liked playing Alex's dad the couple times that I did. It was fun. I gotta play Bastard. Love that.
All right, Mitha, Azure, who wants to go next?
Ladies first.
I did not come prepared with this because I was not expecting this question. So it's like I've been sitting here trying to think of how I want to answer this.
If you need a second, we can go to a quick 3-minute commercial break.
Or we can just give it to Ace.
Oh God.
Ace
Azure.
gets so. First of all, like for everybody, for all of our viewers, like why was Ace not in this show?
Well,
that's
you weren't
actually
even fully
pretty-
integrated. Also, that was
there's a
one.
number
Yeah,
of reasons. I mean,
fully integrated university.
yeah, his university classes did not allow him to be there for the days that we were recording at the time. And also, Ace was still in the middle of being integrated, which for us is like actually quite complicated because everybody that's a part of our group has access to a lot of different
Stuff.
a lot of our different accounts and stuff. And our entire production process is very specific as well. And so since he was also going to be doing some of the editing, like getting him integrated into also the editing process was a whole thing that had to be done too. Not only was Ace not even really wasn't able to record for them, but Ace wasn't even able to start doing any of the editing until I think was it halfway through the season?
Yeah, about halfway through.
Yeah, about half.
Yeah.
A little bit
So-
later than half, but yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe you started on what, like episode 7 or 6 or something?
Six.
Was that the
I think episode 6 was the one I started with.
Okay. So yeah, the first 5 were just edited by Mitha because we were still in the process of getting Ace integrated. And also it was like the logistics of having 2 people who are editing working on the same file. I know that was like quite complicated and kind of annoying to set up and make sure that it functioned properly. So there were a number of reasons, but it's nothing like particularly interesting, really. Like the answer is not that interesting. It's just a logistical thing, truly.
I mean,
And
I
it's
was going to
hard.
talk about it in the editing portion.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll go into more details about the actual challenges you faced
Yeah.
doing that. But
Also, we do need to run an ad break here, so I'm gonna run.
Yeah, run that ad break.
all right, everyone, go
then-
piss, drink some water.
Yeah, especially you, Selena.
Preferably not at the same time.
Eh,
I'll
do what
go
you
with
want.
Girl.
Do what you like because a pirate is free.
Yep.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Yippee! All right,
Yippee! Yippee!
Azure, do you have answers prepared?
Sure.
All right, go.
I think I think both of my favorite moments for like Ysir and Nuri were definitely like amongst their first introductions. Ysir just kind of seeing him as just like a roommate to avoid, and then they end up going to a party, and it's just like accidentally introduces him to someone who has the answers he's looking for, partly, and then also just getting him out of there without being caught.
That's very fun. Yeah.
I definitely thought it was like a good first impression between Alex
Yeah, it was
and
a
Ysir.
very funny start to the scene.
Yeah, that's true. It was a good beginning.
Mhm.
And then Nuri, I love the interaction of just Nuri seeing Alex as like an excited new student, and then also immediately the following night getting into trouble.
So, favorite Alex moment. Alex not being able to get that he's going to a magic school and just being in complete fucking denial in the first episode.
That
Not
was
of
very
denial,
funny.
just obliviousness.
Wow,
I mean-
I wonder what drugs they gave me.
Wow, these are some great drugs. That's a nice fursuit. And Nuri's immediate comeback quip of, "Hey, why don't you let me kiss you, and I'll tell you how much of a furry you are."
Oh right. Oh my god, I forgot that. That was such a
Crazy.
good
You can tell
moment
me if you
for
feel
her.
gay, straight, or furry.
Yeah.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
god. No, that's definitely also a fave for a moment of Nuri. I forgot about that. Oh my god, yeah.
And as for Ysir, so I gotta say, I'm kind of like a slut for Ysir and Galib's scene in the distant past, where Ysir
Mhm.
is completely fish out of water, no idea where he is, and he's confronting the villain in the past in his like origin arc, and we get to see Ysir out of his element, and basically putting pressure on him. Like, there's some of my favorite like episodes of he thought he was tripping. Yeah, kinda. It's like one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who, for example, are ones where the Doctor is thrust completely out of his element. And we were talking about a character who, like, is used to being on all the time and doesn't get out of his element very much. And I sort of feel the same way about, like, Ysir. It's like, I like seeing him when he's completely out of his element and having to confront something that he completely has no idea how to deal with.
Yeah.
hmm That's really interesting because I'm thinking back to that and I'm like, yeah, I guess that was like a really interesting scene to do, especially trying to figure out like it was also a lot of like mental chess going on during that whole
Yeah.
thing, which was
Mhm.
fun. Playing it was very fun too, and also like the classic thing of like he was trying to wade the tightrope of I this person may have information that I need, but also this is not a good person, you know?
Mhm.
And
No.
so
I remember
Yeah.
writing down the note in all caps. Galib has a solution to Seer's problem. He knows how to remove a djinn from your body.
yeah.
And that's a
Yeah.
solution to Aziz's problem. It would have
Which,
been
like-
really fucked up thing that would have happened if that resolved.
Yeah.
But I really
Which-
wanted to find a way to tempt Ysir with that.
And it did.
Mhm.
But I think like there's an interesting thing where his thing and it's truly why he didn't fall for it. Although it did successfully pique his interest, and so like the fish nibbled but didn't bite, right? And the reason he didn't is because a couple things. One, Galib was not half Jinn, so there was still the question of, well, what would this do to somebody who who was not like half Jinn, you know?
Yeah.
And he didn't know the answer to that, so it wasn't a sure enough thing. And realistically, like, he's not going to try just anything on his sister, you know? Like, he wanted to be so sure that whatever he would, use to help her would actually help her. I mean, even at the very end, you guys saw, like, for anybody that saw the very last episode, which if you're here, I hope you have, because we are talking spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for this whole thing, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding. But you even see it like at the end where even as like he's started to trust these people and get to know them a little better and everything, there is still this like underlying anxiety for trying any amount of of medication or anything, because he's just so worried about it making her worse or hurting her or something like that. Like there was a big worry in his place for that, even before. So anyway, that was something that like even at the end didn't really change. It's
And
like immense
what's
worry for her.
Could you talk for a little bit, Silver, about the moral dilemma that you faced with Aziz's cure? Specifically, you were very big, I remember, on, and I want you to talk about this, not just magically fixing it, not just magically making disability go away. Could you talk about that?
Yeah.
So
Before we get into that, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
here, Silver.
yes.
I just want to bring up one other thing on that point. Is if y'all didn't confront Galib in the way you did and gave him a chance to say anything, he was gonna come to you, Yasir, and be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I figured out what happens if you do it to somebody who's half Jinn," and he would have sold you a sweet promise to try to stop you from doing anything about him.
That would have definitely made him
Interesting.
hesitate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
because y'all just fucking ambushed the fucker, he didn't have a chance to get a word in.
Yeah.
We did a stealth snatching grab. We took away all his power,
Yeah.
and then the Nazi had no power. Anyway, but yeah, I specifically, like, this is something that I wrote down
Yeah.
on my questions. It's like, Silver, talk about Aziza's disability.
I was about to say that's why series don't let the heroes interrupt the villain monologue. They lose out on like 2 or 3 episodes.
you know but yeah, specifically with, so something to keep in mind, although if you're here, you might already be aware of this, but if you're new here, all of us are disabled in some way. My disabilities impact me in a way that makes it very hard for me to do a lot of things. But it basically means that like I am very conscious of disability, and in a real way with my own experience, especially the amount of like time that I've spent in hospitals and seen doctors and done tests and surgeries and blah 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 blah. And one of the main things is like, and it's a criticism that I have as well of like a lot of fiction, where it's like, oh well, it's a perfect world, and in a perfect world apparently disabled people don't exist, and I'm like, that's really fucked up.
It's gross and eugenicsy.
It is. And by the way, if you are curious to know more about that, you're like, oh, well, everybody's, because I don't have the whole time to go into the theory about it all. I would highly recommend looking up Crutches and Spice. She does TikTok, but she also, I think, does YouTube and other places. And she is an excellent resource for disability advocacy. She is specifically American, so her experience is more US centered. But even for me as a Canadian, a lot of the stuff that she talks about still entirely applies to me as well. So yeah, I would highly recommend looking her up if you're curious about understanding a little bit more about like why the idea of just curing everybody of everything is actually bad.
To
But
back
anyway,
you up on this, like the same discussion has also been had. Like, no, I'm not only a furry, I'm a Trekkie. I've always been a Trekkie, and one of the things that you will notice about Star Trek as a universe is this is a fictional, idealized future, but disability has not disappeared or gone away.
mhm.
In Star Trek Deep Space Nine, there is an alien from a race of aliens that have a much lighter gravity. And so she is constantly walking around with a body harness and in mobility assistance gear because her people are used to like half gravity.
Mhm.
And Geordi from TNG, a blind man who is using an assisted device.
Mm.
Like it's not about
Disability. The idea is to not erase disability. The idea is to, you know, he. Some of the best episodes were like, you know, oh we could make your disability go away. It's like, yeah, but that also takes away something of who I am. There was an episode to that effect.
yeah. And something you have to consider too is like um yes, exactly, Sam, is where that's where I was going to go. I was going to talk about. It's about accommodation. It's about removing barriers to accommodation. So, and something you have to, and let's say, and here's, listen, again, disability and disability advocacy in its whole is a huge thing. But a very basic thing that I will immediately pose that I think is relatively easy for people to understand pretty quickly is okay, so nobody's disabled anymore, except people are still going to get injured. People are still going to, like, you've cured all of the quote unquote diseases. So what do you do if you don't have anybody that is familiar with or knows or has the experience of disability and somebody gets hurt and now has to be accommodated in some way? You have eradicated that knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's the reality is even if you decide to quote unquote cure all of anything you can, does that mean that people are going to suddenly become fucking invincible? That's not really realistic, right? Like people are not suddenly able to just withstand, getting their leg broken or their arm broken or whatever. You then become, at the very least, temporarily disabled. And
And,
so, anyway, and ultimately, accessibility. Yeah, anyone can become disabled at any time. Exactly.
You are only temporarily able-bodied.
Yeah. Um.
and this
So.
is
Mm,
something that I've heard talked about a lot in the deaf community is like it's just who we are. It's not a disability as long as there's accommodations for it. Like you are by getting rid of giving people hearing aids and like removing the access of like deaf children being able to use ASL or whatever your culture's language version of sign language is. You're literally erasing culture.
yeah.
You're erasing these people's unique ways of communicating. You know, and
Diversity makes us better, makes us stronger.
yeah,
Unironically. Um. So.
There were conversations recently, like right wingers were very pissed at the latest like Star Trek series because why is there someone in this idealized future in a fucking wheelchair? It's like you don't understand anything about Star Trek. Like we didn't erase disability, we embraced it. But
Yeah.
like the right wingers only see things in terms of black and white. They only see things in terms of erasing something. They can't comprehend of the idea. It's like, no, we're not going to erase it. We're going to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
They just can't comprehend that idea.
Also, Mitha and Azure, you still haven't given me your favorite NPCs of the series. Curious.
I mean, I actually thought that one was obvious. I made no bones about it. It was Professor Ness, And it's not just because she was played by Luna's List. There was that, but it's like also I wanted Nuri to have sort of a mother figure that acts as sort of that mother figure that she didn't get because her mother was basically J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
So I actually, it's funny because I did think about Professor Nurse. I'm like, wait, well, she's not an NPC though, because she was played by a character. She was played by a person.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think that I just didn't.
Notably not people. This just in.
Yeah. Actually, GM is very specifically people.
Peoples. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
But,
just, yeah. But yes, the characters that are not played by the players are not people, aka all of the characters of the GM. Therefore, GM is not people. Got it.
But you know what I fucking mean.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm just purposely twisting your words to ignore you.
Story of my
Because we're
fucking life.
friends.
Yeah.
Azure, what about you?
Tough choice.
Yeah.
You can take your time thinking about it.
I can go next if you like.
It just
I did enjoy Anastasia a lot, mostly because whenever she was around, Nuri just became very giddy.
It was
Yes.
cute,
It
yeah.
was so cute. Her and
Points. Gay, homosexual, gay.
her and Aziza are my favorite characters to play. Definitely.
They were so good.
I mean,
I think-
it's a big surprise. I enjoyed playing the raging lesbian.
Yeah, wow,
What a
everyone.
surprise.
What a surprise.
I will say, I just somebody that I just remembered too. Although they didn't show up as often as I think it would have been fun, but I'm fucking forgetting their what is it? Like it was the Nebula
Nebu
professor, Nebu Shapley.
Nebu Shapley the first.
They were so. I love everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we basically, so a lot of the characters we were kind of spitballing random like cool things that we thought, because you're like, okay, what's an interesting like, because you're in a school where everybody can just be whatever gender they want, and that can be as abstract as you want. And we're like, yeah, somebody that's just straight up a
whatever
Nebula.
gender they are. Slight correction.
Yeah. And so I was like, we have to have a Nebula or something like super abstract. And so we had so then we all really liked that. So that was definitely one of the processors that we ended up having, and definitely one of my faves. Like just in terms of concept, was very fun.
Yeah. And her being like a mathematics and like magical physics professor, it made so much sense. It was perfect.
Yes, it
And,
worked
like, magic
really well.
theory. Yeah, I really loved
The
it.
Very
astrology professor. I remember she was also astrology.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Um,
very cool.
So, I think my favorite scene with Yasir was once again probably Aziza at the end. And you guys had that conversation. That was about her coming to the human realm.
Yeah.
That was really powerful. I really loved that scene.
No.
For Mitha, I really, really liked the flashback scene, actually, that you and Luna's List did. Of you guys, you two meeting for the first time. And then for Alex, I think it was the Oni scene. That was very funny. And how you just
That was
randomly-
great.
I love how that just wildly changed the directory of the story, too, of the magic coin happening.
Yeah.
And me
that was very
constantly
funny.
tempting you with it. It was very fun.
Whatever happened to the coin that Yasir had, by the way?
Oh, it got taken by the demon because you never used it. Because he got a 2
I
for
thought
1
it was
special.
going to come up as like he was going to have. It was supposed to be like a punishment or something, but it never. Nothing ever happened to it.
No, his was positive. His coin was positive. His coin meant the demon had to help.
Yeah, I remember how positive it was when it literally burned a hole through his desk after being ignored.
Look, he was just needy.
The needy coin.
The
This
demon.
explains so much why her daughter left him. Oh my
Yes,
god!
exactly.
It was very funny.
Damn.
Look, evil power tempting. It's
Dude, that was
come
funny, though,
on, use
too.
me. I'm a powerful artifact. Come on, senpai. Push his fingers together.
Jesus.
I also really like just like the little small, just because for the fun of it, adding the fucking daughter's little interaction with the dad. Dad, what are you doing at my school?
School.
This is
Dad,
why I
you
don't
always
go
do
home,
this.
Dad.
I left home for a reason.
We made the joke, and then it kind of ended in a very comedy way. I was like, all right, this has to be what happened.
You always do this, Dad.
Yeah. But I
I
kind of
love
think that it was like perfect though, because I think some of the things that I really liked that happened in the end was that it, like, Galib turning out to be way less powerful than we initially thought, was kind of beautiful, you know, because it's like you make him up and build him up so much in your head, and then all it took was a couple people to overpower that bitch and punch the shit out of him, and that was it. And
had
it
to take his power source away, and then suddenly, oh right, he's just a human now.
Yeah, it's almost like that kind of reflect. Hey guys, it's almost like, is there a lesson to learn here? Perhaps
Hey guys, it's almost like that's the point.
Yeah.
it's almost like why
He
is there
said,
something else
not
going-
subtly.
Yeah,
I hate New Trek because New Trek is so over the top. I miss it when the Star Trek did its messaging more subtly. Holds up a picture of the original series episode where people are literally black on one side and white on the other.
Yeah.
disgrace.
Yeah.
You see, they're different from us. We are black on the right and white on the left, and they are white on the right and black on the left. They're completely different from us.
We'll say we did get
Thank
our.
you for the follow.
That was
Like
literally the message. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, that was literally the episode, and this was the
Thanks for the
60s.
follow.
But Star Trek did give us the first interracial kiss.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Yes, I remember reading
Shatner
about that.
and Nichelle Nichols. Back in the 60s, when that was very much a you don't do that.
Yeah.
And
Mad
who's the
props to
creator of Star
Nichelle
Trek?
Nichols.
Who's the
Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, that guy was a fucking hoe.
Okay, so Gene
was-
Roddenberry was a socialist, like
Yeah.
an actual card-carrying socialist.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he back in the 60s, his whole thing was, I am trying to create an idealized vision of what the future could hold, because I think we as like a society need an idealized version of the future to think about and go, yes, I want my world to look like this. Now,
Yeah.
there's also a lot to criticize about Star Trek, Rick Berman, but like Gene's original vision, I think, is very laudable and commendable.
hmm Well, I think actually, you know what? On that note, talking about Star Trek and its representation and its push for a better future, I think like we are kind of serving a similar role. At least we are trying to, in that we are trying to explore things and talk about things like we are not a political channel in the sense of us sitting here and talking about like like real world active like day-to-day politics in the sense of like what's in the news right now.
Yeah,
But we
that's what you
are
come to the
very
after show for.
yeah, but we are very political in the sense of like, well, being forced to because our identities have been politicized, right, as trans people, and also as queer people, as neurodivergent people, as disabled people. Like, you know, a lot about us has a lot about us, our bodies, our identities have been politicized, and so it is not something that we can exactly ignore, and it's something that we don't want to ignore. And so
Yeah.
we will have discussions in our shows that probably cis people will find uncomfortable.
I mean,
Um,
how many downvotes did we get from people for calling a show "Fuck It"? Only trans people could be wizards.
our first episode, yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
got
we made
pretty
it.
much yeah.
We got kind of downvote bombed, and I made a post and reblogged it a couple times to get attention for it, where it was just like, hey, you don't have to like watch the whole episode, but can you just go like this if you support um, trans art and trans creation? And so we got our upvotes back up to somewhat normal, in terms of the percentages and whatnot. But it was yeah, we got like immediately a bunch of downvotes, which wow, color me fucking so surprised.
Mhm.
Wow,
Um,
there's transphobes on the internet.
which actually is something to keep in mind too. Like we are aware of how the algorithms work. We knew that putting the word trans in the title was going to get our shit suppressed. And big surprise, it
Yeah.
did.
It did.
Which I'm not I'm not bothered by, I'm not surprised by. We wanted to make it anyway. And I think that's also like our challenge truly isn't that like are we making something interesting? Are we making something good? Because we care about everything that we do and we are creatives. And also it's only going to get better as we create more shows. Everything like as we learn, we always will improve. Um, but it's more like how do we get past the barrier of the algorithms very much suppressing trans content? Um, and that's just one of those challenges that like we kind of have to deal with. Um, as we go along. Uh, but it's one that we knew from the beginning. In fact, we did a lot of security measures, um, courtesy of Mitha, for that very reason
So
because we knew we would be targeted.
I put a lot of things in place very early on, like security measures to make sure that you know, because I knew the hate raids were going to happen eventually. I was just surprised that it was my personal channel that got hate raided before TransXP.
Mhm.
Yeah. Granted, you stream a lot more than like TransXP does because we do it once a week. Which
True,
like
but
yeah,
it was a fucking TRG collab stream of all things.
yeah. But it's again, it's like it's one of those things that it comes with the territory. Unfortunately, like by the way, I say it like that because, and this is something that sometimes people forget who are not like trans. Like sometimes we talk about stuff in a very like casual way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to discount how serious it actually is. It's just that we do deal with it literally all the time. And it's just part of our reality, and so we do kind of become desensitized to it. Um, so I say it like it's part of the territory, but that doesn't mean that it should be, for the record. Although I'm sure that's obvious, but for the sake of posterity, I said it anyway. Um, but yeah, sorry. Were you? Wait, where were we at? I feel like we went a little bit off topic, but
I don't
Well,
know.
just
We
a
might
little
as well
bit.
trade the train for an ATB with how long we spend off the rails.
I mean, it wouldn't be us if we
Are we
didn't go
trans?
off the rails a lot. I have some other things on my list though.
yeah, absolutely. Please, if there's something you specifically want to talk about,
Well,
absolutely go for
Ace
it.
still needs to give his
I
his,
w-
his favorite character.
Man.
Okay,
Yes,
favorite
it's
characters on
true.
Ace.
I was hoping.
You almost escaped. You almost got
I,
away.
I almost got away.
I mean, it's easy. We get distracted every like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
True. I there's like specific things. I'm like hopeless romantic. So I fucking love anytime we have any of the couples interacting with each other. I love how like soft like Noreen gets when it comes to Anastasia, and like how
Anastasia,
they
yeah.
just get Anastasia, thank you, and how gushy they get. But I also love I love and hate fucking Yasir's and why blank their fucking character names today.
Saeed?
Say thank you. and they're fucking. Why not? Whoa, dating? Whoa. Who says we're dating? But I do like the fucking love potion that like was mentioned by this like the sister and Professor Luna at like the end. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. And then we have Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have opinions about Alex?
Yeah. Yeah. We have opinions about Alex.
Every fucking time Alex seems to be on fucking screen, something happens, and it hurts my heart. I joked at the beginning of this series, oh my god, I would love to see this character cry. I would love to see Alex cry. I made a little doodle.
The
Of
monkey's
Alex
paw
crying.
did curl indeed, didn't it, buddy?
Yeah.
I regret it.
Yeah, that's your fault. Don't you know that?
Yeah, careful what you wish for. You might get it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference of crying because of like something not traumatic and a traumatic crying. Every time Alex is on scene, fucking something traumatic fucking happens, and we're just left to fucking not. There's no proper coping with it.
Pain and
No
suffering.
aftercare.
Pain and suffering.
Delicious.
All right.
Oh my God, I'm
Just you
still
wait till we
so-
get to next season.
God,
It's gonna be fun.
And like,
Oh, yeah.
why did fucking Alex give stupid ass fucking Edward a fucking in to contact him? Why?
This ain't a fairy tale.
I know. I was telling Azure like, dude, like I'll make Alex.
He's literally in my
partner
DMs
to treat him
begging me to
well.
let Alex have a better life.
Oh my god.
Every time Ace cried over Alex, all I could picture in my head was that one Punisher gif where he's on the chair like, wait. No.
Yeah. But my favorite NPC was definitely Basilisk.
Yeah.
I really like the interaction between Basilisk and like Professor Ness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I liked their relationship. It was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I was
also
trying
like,
very hard to not make it romantic.
I like how it's like it
Great
could
thought.
be, it could be not. I like how it could be not. Like there's a
Well,
a
I
dealer's
sort of
choice in it.
imagined like Ness as being sort of transbian adjacent, and like
Yeah.
Basilisk being a gay trans man.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
the idea.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
I will say it didn't seem romantic. It definitely seemed like somebody, like he's a little stressed, a little like whatever, anxious. And, this job is a lot and whatever. And then her vibe being like, oh, like just coming around. Oh, everything's fine. Like kind of like
Oh
floating.
wait, y'all didn't know that I was a mystical being?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
That was so funny. I didn't
The
even
more
tell
the-
Luna to say that. That was just purely her. I'm so
Yeah.
proud. I'm so
Actually,
happy.
like-
That's the direction she
Yes.
went. It was so perfect.
She did such a good job bringing that character to life. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely an incredible job. Her direction was fantastic. Like, actually, again, a little bit behind the scenes of how we do this. There are some things. So when we have a guest come and play a character, there are different things that happen. So, because we've done this twice so far, but a lot of the times the way that it works is we may have some things. This character's role is generally decided already. So that character is already decided, and then we can kind of discuss like, okay, what is the purpose of this character being here? What purpose and like role do they need to fulfill within the story? And then we give people a certain level of freedom of what to do with that. Actually, speaking of like, since Ace was actually our first technically like guest star, which like no longer just a guest star, but initially that is how Ace's character started out. And so for example, I had much less figured out for that character. There was a couple things that I knew for sure. I knew what their dynamic needed to be. because initially his character was essentially born out of me wanting my character to have a werewolf boyfriend. Um, and so what we had decided at that point was, okay, he was going to be a werewolf, um, but we had nothing really figured out about what he looked like and the depth and like the details of his personality. There are some things that like he needed to be because obviously he needs to fit. That needs to make sense for them to be in a relationship. And if you're starting from a point of these characters are romantically involved, it has to obviously make sense for them to be romantically involved. And so that's kind of where Ace had to work with when creating that character.
Right, but what about the wizard characters?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the process in which we make NPCs, and so it's kind of similar with Professor Ness in that, okay, she needed to be the professor, and then there's some other details that we decided later, such as there was the question of like, what is she, right? And that was a discussion that Kat and I had because sometimes um, there's brainstorming that happens kind of outside of uh, like group settings for like other characters. So, for example, because this character was going to be more involved with Mitha's character, Kat and I discussed it so that it could be like kind of a surprise to Mitha. Um, and so we discussed having that character be a like, what if they were not human at all from the beginning? And so that was kind of a discussion that Kat and I had. Now, there were some details that we had, and that was then given to Luna. But then from there, Luna just riffed, and she has full control of actually playing the character itself.
So I sort of feel like I got like a little bit of misdirection thrown my way because Silver has said several times it's like only humans are wizards, wizards are humans. Or more specifically, not Silver. I'm going to correct myself. Ysir said that several times. This was a point that Ysir made several times, and I just took it as canon. Well, turns out Ysir can be wrong sometimes.
I mean, he's
it's
fucking
complicated because of the way that beings of the weave have access to magic because they're creatures of literal magic, and a human who has control over the weave. Those are different things, But maybe the distinction wasn't clearly said, and that's possibly where the misdirection happened. And also, Silver and I decided that a lot later in the story before you started saying,
hmm Also, just in general, like the way that magic works and everything was a whole discussion that we had too. And one of the things that like also for this series was, and that we're trying to do for the that we're trying to make sure to do for the next series, is that I feel like something we didn't give ourselves enough time truly to hammer out a lot of the lore for this particular show. Like we have lots of lore stuff obviously, but I think there's some parts where we just didn't give ourselves enough time. And
I was actually going to talk about that in the editing section.
well, but there's two things, right? Yes, there was the time thing for the editing, but I mean time in terms of like actual literal talking about the story time, like sitting down and discussing character stuff time. We just kind of said, okay, we've got it, and then we started, And I feel like we definitely are making sure to not do that this time around, where we're spending more time actually discussing, and we have a lot more lore stuff. And Kat's even whipped out a note taking thing and is organizing files and stuff to keep track of a lot of the things that we've created for the next series. Which, by the way, if you're wondering about that, we are going to be doing a fundraiser for it in April. So stick around. We don't have an exact date hammered out. There's a couple other things we're figuring out too. There's a a different show that we're actually going to be starting to do once a month. That you will be hearing about later, which is going to have guests on and whatever, and we'll get more details about that. When we have some things more hammered out, and we'll start making announcements. But
We figured it out.
yes, once we figured it out. So the details of that shall come soon. But yeah, so we are already planning that series, though, even though we haven't fully funded it and everything yet. We have a lot of the stuff prepared so that we have much more time to actually work on it before starting recording, and I'm very excited to be able to announce it once we have it funded. So, okay, sorry. I think is there other stuff because like I know that
Well, I was going to move the topic to me and Ace talking about the editing.
that's what I was going to
Editing
suggest.
time.
Yeah. So editors, go ahead.
Silver, go take a break. You think you need one.
Why are you saying it like that? What the hell?
I know you.
You've
You've been yapping for 2 hours and 19 minutes.
You've been yapping for 2 hours. Like, take a break for a minute and let me and Ace talk about editing for a minute.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Editor.
Okay. All right, so this is me pulling me and Ace up to the front for a bit. Okay, so some of the challenges. First of all, one of the things that we went into this was, oh, we're going to give ourselves more time to do the editing. Insert laugh track here. So yeah, that didn't happen.
Nope.
We're going to have to next time change how we do some stuff because like we had a whole bunch of stuff edited and ready to go, and then the holidays hit, and partially on the advice of my therapist, I was the only one working on editing at this point. I took a vacation, and everything just sort of went to shit at that point because my executive function went to shit. I wasn't able to focus on stuff. I was having a hard time actually getting my brain to focus on the editing for a while. And that's when Silver's like, well, Ace can edit. ...
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, how do I get somebody else able to look at this crap that is all sitting here on my hard drive? And it's like, okay. So eventually I kind of jury-rigged together a system where I have an external NAS drive, a Synology, and all of the data...
What it boiled down to was, let's just make the dog do it.
Yeah.
What the dog doing? Editing.
And not recording episodes. We can make him edit.
I came up with a system where there is basically an online cloud platform that syncs between devices to sync the files, and I'm like, Ace, I hope you got some hard drive space, because if you're gonna do this, kiss your hard drive goodbye.
Which luckily I did have the space for it. I had extra space too, so it worked out.
It's like, if there's one thing that you're gonna run into with a lot of raw video footage, it's like, it's big, especially because we're recording hours of 2K video. Why is Ace sitting on top of Silver?
Because he wanted me to bring him to the front.
Wait, hold on. I'll go into a more less
Go.
just a head form. we'll become more humanoid again.
Heads are humanoid.
It looks weird with you sitting on Silver's shoulders.
Oh, hold on. I can.
What the hell?
Okay.
Oh my god!
Is that better?
Our newest member, Silver Hellhound.
But one of the first questions I ran into, it's like, okay, am I just being replaced here as the editor? I was wondering, but it's like no, I'm not being replaced. I had to get that out of my head first of all. And so it's like I needed some way to delineate. Okay, so what am I doing, and what is Ace doing? And the answer to that, I just needed to sit down and this is what I ended up doing. Just talk to Ace and find out, hey, what are you really good at? And audio.
Using my dog ears. Yep.
Truly,
Very
truly, this
sensitive.
boy has some dog ears on him.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that was like I think that was like one of my critiques every time you were looking for critiques with the episodes. And it was mainly, a lot of it was like audio stuff. And so it worked out perfectly that one of the things that you were struggling with was audio. And that was one thing that I was able to take off your plate and be able to help you with.
And I appreciate you.
Yeah, I definitely learned quite a bit throughout each episode. I think I learned like a new thing to do as the episodes went on. So hopefully, as you listen to it per episodes, the audio gets better and better.
We also resolved
but yeah.
the glaring audio issues that we created.
Okay, so let's talk for a second about glaring audio issues, because there's more than one. Okay.
Yeah, the series had a rough time.
This series had some issues with a capital I, and I'm talking about audio issues. So, first of all, there was one time... Cat, I love you dearly, but please stop fucking with the audio tracks. I
We
don't
have
know.
them set, and they're the reason I messed with it is because I didn't have an audio track set for Luna, and I forgot to change it back.
Yeah, and even when you set it up for Luna, it was still way like, what? What's going on here?
And it's not just that.
For our audience's benefit, we have a somewhat convoluted system where every voice actor gets their own audio track. And this is great for the editing because, hey, there's a noise on this person's mic. They're not talking right now. We mute them. Or, hey, this particular track, like, there's something wonky going on in the background. Let's put in a filter or something to correct it. We only need to do it on this one actor's track. It doesn't need to be on anyone else's. So having everything separated is great. Until I get a master source file that contains multiple people jammed onto one track. And I'm like, what is this shit? And I wound up, at one point, keeping my own copy in recordings of the audio from everyone. So it's like, Kat was keeping a master audio, and also I was keeping a master audio. And everyone was like, we're not going to need that much redundancy. Next episode later, we needed it. And I'm like, I feel
Also,
incredibly justified right now.
I will say that it wasn't everybody. It was just me that was worried about having too much redundancy, which ultimately, like, as the project manager, whatever person, I
see
just
you as
worry.
a project manager, yeah.
Yeah, like, essentially a lot of what I do is I take a lot of consideration for, I mean, a number of things, right? But one of them is, like, I worry about having somebody have too many tasks, you know? And so if it added, my main concern with it was just worrying that it just added another thing, a more mental load to Mitha, and that we already had two redundancies. So I was like, is a third necessary? Is it worth possibly adding another, like, mental load to a person that already is quite, like, tightly packed with responsibilities already? But ultimately, like, it comes down to and this is just what it is to work with a group, right? It comes down to talking about, like, is this okay? Does this feel okay? And ultimately also, if eventually it became too much, that would have just been part of the discussion.
And actually, I think in the end, having more redundant audio recordings made my life better, not
Yeah.
worse. Because it's like, the master recording on like 7, 8, 9, and 10 all had issues. Now, to their benefit, like, Silver having background noise of a knocking going on for several episodes,
Yeah.
not your fault.
Yeah.
Drove me insane. Not your fault. Drove me insane.
Yeah. Which we
We
figured
eventually
out.
fixed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, funny enough, it was actually the reason that was happening was because me and Mitha both have NAS systems, which, if you're not familiar with what that is, the network attached storage, essentially think like cloud, right? The cloud storage that a lot of people use is just sitting somewhere in a data center owned by like Google or Apple, right? So
Your cloud thing is just somebody else's computer.
yeah, so essentially a NAS system is just a local cloud, essentially.
Mhm.
But basically, I have a NAS system, Meath has a NAS system, and we have them, again, talking about redundancy, we have them saving to each other um,
Mhm.
kind of all the time. So my NAS system is kind of always on and working. Um, and so it was making sound during the recordings, and that hadn't been an issue before when it was just my NAS system, but then we connected to ours, and it started making sound pretty much all the time.
And I think what was happening is I think one of the drives in your NAS is actually going south, and that's why it's making a knocking noise constantly.
Well, you
We've
say
checked
that,
it
but we
several
did check.
times.
Yeah, and it was
Mhm.
fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no like error signals or whatever the fuck they're called. Error.
The smart check doesn't show any issues, but if it's making a noise, which it clearly is,
Yeah.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if something happened 6 months from now. You know,
it,
God
just
forbid. But
keep an eye on that thing. I'm looking at the drives on that with a little bit of, I'm pointing at my eyes and pointing at your Synology. It's like I'm watching you.
Yeah. Well, again, luckily because of the way that we set it up, if one of them does die, I just need to replace it, and I won't lose
Yeah,
anything.
that's the beauty of a raid is you can literally just swap the drive and nothing will be lost.
Yeah.
Because raid striping, it's a thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
one of the things that I love is the extra redundancy in episode 10 meant you don't notice any of the audio issues that happened in episode 10 because I just plucked one of the extra redundancies and voila, we had great audio. One of the
Yeah.
things I did for fun is I think was it episode 8 where Silver's voice lingers a little before and after everybody starts talking. Like, we go to credits and Silver's still there in the background going, good job, everybody, great
yeah,
recording.
that was really,
I
really
thought-
funny.
I thought that you left it on purpose, so I left it in because I was like, "That I like that. I like hearing
Yeah,
that."
it was really funny. It was on purpose.
It was very much on purpose.
Yeah. But what that actually was is like we were stopped recording, but I don't
You had
always
no-
hit like end record at the exact same time as everybody else. And
Uh-huh.
so sometimes I'll record a little bit after of us just being like, okay, we're done, and like, good job, everybody. Like, that was a good recording, like, good session, like, so it's a lot of me just like praising everybody, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep that just once.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Because actually it's funny because Mitha, you told me about that before, and I was like, and I laughed because I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize because like I forget too, like I'm not thinking about it. That you guys are hearing that afterwards. I'm just like, oh, okay, right, and then I end the recording whenever the fuck I remember. And sometimes I leave it. I know that sometimes I leave the audio recording way too long after we're done, but.
I just
Alright.
think it's funny.
No, I think it was good. I think it is funny too.
We're about to hit an ad break. How are we all
Okay.
feeling? Do we
Yeah, okay.
think we got another hour in us?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'll go until we're finito.
Okay.
But
cool,
let's
cool.
let's do the ad break and everybody go piss, go
Yeah.
run, go
Potty.
eat. Yep, self care.
Eating my dinner. Num num num.
All right, welcome back. Good to hear that you've hydrated and thefted sweets,
Yes.
Selena.
I did a whole chicken dinner. Num num num.
I don't know if I'd call it
Perfect.
theft when, but you know, it's
Winner,
food.
winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, it's not really theft when it's given to you. But
I
yeah,
was gonna
but-
say, hey Ace, tell our audience, how was it editing a show with Trans XP for the first time?
Yeah.
So to give some context to everyone, this isn't my first time editing for Trans XP this series. I did a lesbian episode that's over on our Patreon that you can go see, and that one I did not only the editing for the audio, but also the visuals. But that was a very different experience than editing for a series.
Mhm.
Mainly because the series was edited by 2 people, which means we had to sort out and figure out how to um, share the DaVinci Resolve files between us, and also I had to learn about syncing up audio and visuals and stuff like that. But when we first started doing it, um, I would sit with my Dropbox open, and it says that it was fully synced, but I would still not see the editing file that Mitha has given me. And we learned that the best way to do it was just like copying it and then pasting it via DMs before we made an editing chat. And that's how our new system is like, whenever we're ready to pass the baton, we act the person and we send the copy of the editing file.
Which is surprisingly
And
small as long as you have all the raw footage, which is interesting. I did not think or expect that.
So
Yeah,
the actual DaVinci Resolve file is literally just a database of the source material, the cuts you've made, and where you've put everything, and the time indexes for everything. And that's it.
yeah,
Because
it's
it's pulling all the video files from somewhere else. Presumably.
I believe so. Yeah. Which was also interesting because like my Dropbox would say everything is synced up, but I open up an episode, relink everything, and then all of a sudden my computer is downloading like an hour or 2 hours worth of content.
Just gigs and gigs of data.
So what I would have to do is, as soon as I get the clip, I would open it up, relink everything, and walk away from my computer and let it take as long as it need. The episode 10, that took so much longer, and I also it took so long. I don't know why my Dropbox takes so long to sync.
Well, it didn't help that episode 10 was instead of 2 hours of 2K footage, it was 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That is true. Also love the piss file. That was great.
If you want to see the piss file, go to patreon.com. No.
No.
It's
No.
over on our blue.
It's on the
Sky
blue
feed,
sky.
Uh,
Do you want to tell that story?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, what episode was it? Episode 10?
I think
That was
Nine.
episode 10 because it was about Luna's footage.
Okay, yeah. So episode 10. You know, I get the file, and I'm about to relink everything. And I look at it. I like to see what files I need because sometimes we use audio from the Vampire the Masquerade. But I look at it and I just see this one called Piss, and I'm like, that's not a normal Mitha.
That's not a normal file name. Looks at it.
Meath is
not a
very
normal
good at
file name.
making good and accurate titles and names.
And to be fair, when I get these edits, I usually haven't seen the episode yet, at least for the first time. So I'm like, oh god, don't tell me there's a fucking piss reference in this episode. Oh no, every time. And so I'm assuming it's just like an audio snippet. But you know, I was like, let me just take a little screenshot. I took a picture with my phone, and I was like, do I ask or just find out at Mitha? And then Mitha gave the clarification. And I just wrote, will do, but it was funny to just look and see piss.
It's just funny out of context. Once you put it in context, it's not funny anymore.
See,
It's just-
Selena, you say these things and expect us not to think that you have a piss kink. What do you want me to do with this information, Selena?
What the fuck?
Right?
Yeah,
I'm not
look
going-
at the chat.
Selena, I'm gonna start charging you.
Yeah.
But of course, Silver was like, "Hey, can I post this?"
Because of
Taking a
course,
screenshot.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't get all I see, because obviously they're talking to each other. So I just randomly see a picture pop up.
In
It's
the
a picture
editor's
of
chat,
Yeah, all I see is Ace's thing questioning, like sending the question to Mitha. So I don't even see the answer yet. I just see Ace go to whatever the fuck you wrote. It was like,
Do I ask
do
her?
I
Or do
ask or do I just find out? Question mark, and then a picture of the editing software, and then one of the files just named lowercase, by the way, just piss. Next to a bunch of the files that are labeled fucking only trans people can be wizards with a bunch of other labels. So a bunch of normal labels, and then just straight in the middle of the picture, piss and nothing else. It was very funny.
It's
I
our
think
it's
it's
our
also-
spicy mini series. We're calling it "Only Trans Kinksters Can Be Wizards."
God, get me
Yeah,
out
I
of
think
here.
Also, I think. I think it also makes it funnier that I took that picture of my screen with my phone, so it has that slight blur.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and in reality, all the piss timeline is right after I published the first draft for our test viewers to take a look at. My moderator, Way Too Late TV, Sam, comes back and says, there's no audio during from Luna during Luna's intro. And I went back and I looked at the timeline and went, fuck, you're right. There was literally the part of the timeline was literally missing, and I had to spin up a new timeline, drop the source from Luna into it, and find the exact section I needed, delete the old one from the main timeline, and copy the correction over, get everything lined up properly. And so I was frustrated at myself for this obvious error that I had missed. And so it's like, what do I call this temporary timeline that I'm going to get rid of when I'm done? Right? Right? I just called it piss because it's like I was pissed off, and then I forgot to delete the timeline before I sent to Days.
I'm so glad you forgot to delete it. That it brought me joy.
Yeah, it was really funny.
But back to editing process. When I first got the episode at 6, I believe it's the one I first started working on. I I was like watching like tutorials on how to like fix audio in DaVinci Resolve while I was fixing the audio in DaVinci Resolve, and eventually I got better where I didn't need any tutorials and I knew what I was doing. But yeah, it's like I really learned to sympathize with Mitha because like I knew because I've edited stuff before of my own stuff, so I knew what it goes into editing. But having to deal with multiple like people's audios that you don't have control of fully, and then having to edit them individually, not including music and sound effects, which Mitha very appreciatively adds in, and I just changed the audio volume for it. But it's a lot of work, and especially when things happen. There's microphones that aren't working, and then you need to get re-recordings, which in this series we had to get for 3 episodes, lines re-recorded.
hmm
So that was an interesting time. But I think it was a big thing that Mitha finally was able to have somebody who could very much sympathize of like the struggles of editing.
Yeah.
And definitely I was like, fuck. Oh, we gotta fix people's microphones. We gotta start with microphones and them how they record their audio. Because you can't just be like, we'll fix it in post. That's not how it works.
No.
That is a false statement. I will never say that statement
Ever
If I
again.
ever said it, I would never say it again, unless it's like to myself. Then I can fuck me to myself. But it was interesting. There's so much. There was a lot to cut out, but there was also one thing I didn't realize because of how we when I was in episodes back in for Bot, we for one episode we spent one recording day. And so halfway through when I was editing stuff, like around like episode 8 or 9, I learned that you guys for some episodes are doing like cutting it up into a few days. And then it made I feel like my mind like expanded and blew because I'm like, that's why the audio sounds so different halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn how to figure out that's why. But then the audio would sound different, but it's all in one track. So like I couldn't add a different compressor or equalizer. I had to just work with what I had. And so I spent a lot of time
Did you just cut
cutting-
in half,
cutting
or
a
does that not
section.
work? Yeah.
No, so with DaVinci Resolve, you do the whole audio track because I've tried to cut it and then do individual. Does not work.
Gotcha.
So what I would do is I'll just like put one that sounds good throughout the whole thing, and then I would individually like if anything was too quiet or way too loud, I'll just cut it and then bring down or up the gain or volume. And that's what took the longest. It honestly is just going through it to adjust the audio if it was really like bad. I remember one section when Kat and Luna's audios were together. They weren't separated. Kat was so quiet and Luna was so loud.
To be fair, they were supposed to be separated. They were supposed to be.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be separated. But I thank goodness there was not too many times you guys accidentally overlapped when talking. That was the only way I was able to do like the cutting up for that because you guys thankfully didn't talk too much over each other. There wasn't too much Discord delay or anything. Because that took a lot as well. But yeah, and then almost every episode except for near the end, I was praising Azure because I literally basically never had to touch his audio, and then he would jump scare me when he got sick because he would cough and I wasn't expecting it or sniffle, and it would be so
scared the shit out of him.
loud. I would actually get jump scared because I got used to Silver's sniffles, which is fine, normal. Got used to those. Sometimes Cat would have it, got used to it. But when Azure had it, I would look through all the audio files.
I was the
and I'm
last
like, oh,
one he
typically-
checked.
No, especially I hate that my brother is in chat. Your food is great, by the way. Anyways,
Brother.
Hello.
Hello, don't poison our boy again.
Yeah, please
no,
don't
he made
poison
good food today. He made
our
good
friend.
food today. I
Today.
posted the food in the food smut section.
I saw it. It looks
Anyway.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the audio stuff, and then the sound effects were always so loud. But that's an easy fix. You just put it down a bit. And yeah, I don't know if there's too much other like crazy audio stuff. Insert Warhammer. Oh my goodness. I'm so distracted now that my brother is fucking yapping in chat. I don't know
I'm
if
not
there's any I know. You're all good. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other like specific audio. I guess like this is also I was now fully integrated with TransXP2 at this point, so like having to get the keys to the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
was
literally, yeah.
Very literally. Which by the way, I love the system that we use. I literally use it for all my passwords now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best things I did. when we started this project. It's just like, okay, we are going to use a password manager. No, I will not be taking questions on this.
Yeah.
Like I
Listen.
didn't
Yeah.
need you to not tell us to not do that, but I'm so glad you did it. It's so
Yeah.
nice. If
Mhm.
y'all don't use password managers, look, if you're in this chat, you're probably neurodivergent. Please go use a password manager. They're so useful.
Really,
They're
really are.
so fucking useful.
Yeah, I use it
That was
for-
one of the first things I did with TransXP. It's like, no, we are going to use password managers here. That's just what's happening.
We are going to be using a password manager. This scene cannot be skipped.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty literally.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was like interesting. I had no qualms about it. I knew my lane to stay in, and I stayed in it, and I still stay in it.
God, it feels
Well,
so
I guess-
bad. Like, oh god, it feels terrible. It's like why would I'm telling a Native American trans man to stay in his lane. No, God, no.
well, well, the thing too, though, is like it's also different because we already were established as a group, and so we at this point, although we've only been like operating really for a year, we still had like a year's worth of the way that we produce stuff. We have a year's worth of systems in place for how we go about organizing content and also recording content and all this stuff. So you also like were lucky enough in a way to come in when we had already kind of figured out a lot of the kinks, and I don't mean the fun ones,
No, that's so true. I'm so
But,
thankful
like-
about that.
But also adding another person added a whole new level of issues. It's like, we haven't done this before. How do we do this?
Huh.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
other
that's
thing.
true. I mean, hopefully, I mean, luckily I've been with you guys, even not necessarily like, as a member, but I've been behind the scenes with at least visually behind the scenes since bot, which we're almost coming up to a year since I.
It's
No,
still
we have
insane.
passed a year.
Yeah.
No, wait, for me, since, like almost a year since I was dragged
Gotcha.
along.
Kicking and screaming.
I'm happy to be here. But no,
Well,
I
thanks for
was
being
very
here. It's
thankful that you
great to
guys at
have you.
least had that you guys had like the basics all sorted out at least. But I hope I've been able to bring stuff to the table and at least help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. And I know we're gonna probably run into more things in the future. We always seem to run into things.
Yeah, well, it's a work in progress, right? Like, for example, my audio needs some fixes, which we're gonna do before, not like because I'm not on my rig right now, but my audio has to have some fixes done as well, like just as an example of something that
Yeah, I
That
want to
happens to need to be
sit you and Sam down and have like the master of audio adjustments get your stuff adjusted.
yeah.
Mhm.
We'll probably anyway. It needs to be done before we start actually recording.
Before we
it's
record
just
another series, yeah.
yeah, it's just that with my exhaustion and other things, I'm not always. My spoons are sometimes limited, so
Well, both of you have that
Well,
exact same
well, exactly
issue.
right. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I just looked it up. You want to know the date of our very first Bot 2099 trailer upload?
I actually think I know it.
What do you think it is?
Okay, well,
That's-
you're talking about the trailer?
Yeah.
The trailer I don't know, but I know that the first I'm pretty sure that the first episode of
She asked about the trailer, though.
I know, but I'm thinking about the first episode I'm pretty sure came out either was it April or March
Nope.
21st? What
When
was it?
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Damn.
February.
February. Wow.
20th. Damn.
I looked it up.
That's for the trailer, right?
That's for the
That is
trailer. What
for
was
the
first
Bot
episode?
2099 trailer.
What was the first the first
The first actual episode.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
1 second. Episode 1, The First Bite.
Yes.
The first nom.
March 21st.
I was right.
Yep,
Okay.
Oh my God, so-
almost exactly a year ago.
God, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
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 Wah!
Oh no. Oh
Okay,
no.
they're devolving now.
Um,
Okay, so fun fact: episode 2 of Bot, The Road to Dawn, March 28th, tomorrow, a year ago.
Yeah,
wow.
that's crazy.
Waluigi! Thank you, Nexu.
Wow, Luigi time.
Wah, Luigi. All right, we're devolving now. I think we're
Yeah.
getting punchy.
No, this is where the good shit happens.
Right,
This
right.
is where we get
Chat.
canceled.
This is the
we're all
part
tired.
where like, in a recording where I will pull it out and then take clips and send them to Azure saying, "Here, make a meme out of this."
Oh, how much singing did you guys do for this series?
A
That
good
had to get
amount.
edited out.
Good amount.
I didn't. Meetha cuts them out before I see the.
But they're in the folder. You can see all the bits that I cut out. I'll show
That's
you
true.
later.
Yeah, because I know Azure made one edit about singing from the series.
Yeah.
Basically, as I'm going through and I'm doing my first pass edit, Sam, anything that I find just funny or interesting or just what the fuck, I will take out like little snippets and render them separately. And I have a side folder that I keep them in. And if they're special, like, I will hang on to those snippets and I hand them off to Azure, and Azure is just like, hey, this was funny. I'm gonna go and make a meme out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yes, Sam, you're making a sexual innuendo, and I'm invoking my ace card and not responding to it. I'm not.
Look,
I'm
I
not
never
giving you
pull
the
that.
rise.
God.
Damn.
Are we how are we feeling? Is there anything else we wanted to talk about, or are we
Well,
nearing the end of
I only have one thing left on my list.
Okay, yeah.
What's
Go
on
ahead.
the list?
Roadmap. Where do we go from here?
Ah,
what
okay.
What are we reviewing? I know we're
Well,
not
we're
revealing
not
stuff
being
yet.
any specifics. Now, what I will say some of the things that we can say, which is that we are, which I mentioned earlier in the stream anyway, but depending on when you popped in, maybe you didn't hear this. We are already working on and planning the next series. Now, what we have to do before starting to record that series and release it is we do need to fund it. We got a couple people. We were a few very dedicated people to that helped fund our last series and allowed us to get to this point. And so that's how this Wizard series was funded.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Yes, thank you,
Jesus
Sam.
Christ.
Yeah.
And also Dove, who also donated. And I'm forgetting a couple of the other names, and I feel bad forgetting or didn't have a plan.
One was named Ace Kuriyami.
Yeah, there was that.
I made sure to stop paying for the Patreon after you gave me the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
I actually, hang on, let me get the credits out. I can give you the full list of names. 1 second.
Perfect.
I write this shit down.
Which, by the way, if you want to have your name in the credits, we are not particularly like you. You can donate $5. You can donate $10. You can donate whatever you're able to, and you will have your name in the credits. That's how it works.
And most importantly, brought to you by our patrons and sponsors, Nick S., Ace Kuriyami, Sapphic Necromancer, Sam from Way Too Late TV, and Dove Bleeding Heart.
Yeah. So we were very grateful to have some people that were so lovely in helping fund the series that allowed us to actually do it. And so we're going to be doing another fundraising stream. It's going to be lots of fun because you're going to be able to donate and then also affect what happens in the stream, because it's going to be a TTRPG. It's going to be a game stream. So we're going to be playing a game. We're going to be rolling dice, and you're going to be able to influence what happens based on if you donate, and also you will have special things that you're able to do if you are a subscriber to our Patreon. So those are a couple of the cool things, and we'll be making the announcement of the date after we have a couple other things figured out, because we have a special show thing that we're going to be doing once a month, and so we're trying to organize the guests for that at the moment. And so we need to be able to, everybody's schedules and everything. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is figuring out when they're able to do that. And then that will also influence when we're able to do the fundraising stream. So that's currently the plan. Those are the 2 future streams that you'll be seeing in April. When exactly in April, we will let you know. Please follow us on Blue Sky to get updates about that.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Well, more than eventually. We'll figure it out within the next couple of days, hopefully.
Does anybody have anything they want to plug?
No, I mean,
XP, TTRPG.
yeah.
No.
What do you want to plug? This show. Please go follow us on YouTube if you haven't already.
Yes,
The
whole series is over there.
Yeah, the whole series, everything is up there. So if this is the only series you've seen, by the way, we have 2 other series. We have a Vampire the Masquerade series, which is 20 episodes. We also have a mini series that we did for Halloween that was 3 episodes. That was fun. And then this is our mid. So also you've gotten a good taste of our different sized series now. This was always the plan, was to have 3 different sizes of series. It was to have a very big series, which is 20 episodes. It was to have shorter, a little bit more approachable 10 episodes, which is still quite long for some people. And then, our Halloween miniseries, which the goal is to do them once a year. And those are
and
3
we may
episodes.
do others if we can. I'd love to do a Halloween. I still have a great plan for Valentine's Day that I want to do.
Yes.
And then, but we'll probably
Kind of
have
a
to
month
do that
right
next year. No, I'm aware. We tried to get that set up, and it was just not going to work, because God, being disabled and depressed is hard.
Feel free to record a year in advance. Feel free to record a year in advance.
No,
It
I'm
gives us
still
plenty of
like
time to
legitimately
edit.
being like, hey guys, do you guys want to go sit down and record our Halloween series like right now?
God.
I
think
think,
Oh,
the,
Lord.
I think the summer will be a busy season for us.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think like Ace, you're not going to be. You're not going to be in school, right, this summer, or are you taking summer classes?
Even if I do take summer classes, it'll be like 2 classes, 1 to 2 classes.
Right.
So
It'll be
like,
much
I'll
less.
be very available.
Yeah. So at least you'll be more available. I should still be, about as available as I usually am. Our other 3 members here have recent job changes, all 3 of them, that's happening at the same time, and so we don't have everybody's
And none
schedules
of those
fully
are
figured out.
confirmed yet.
Yeah, so we don't have
That's
anybody's
complicated.
schedule fully. Yeah, we don't have everybody's schedule fully figured out yet. So that's also
We're in
gonna
a
determine.
transitional period. We're good at transitions.
Yeah, that's pretty much our bag, isn't
Hey.
it? But yeah, so basically we have lots of really cool stuff. We'll probably be doing. There's a couple other interesting things that I know Kat wanted to do, although we'll see, since her work schedule has changed, how some of that stuff's gonna go. But we have plans. We have
Evil
plans. Do not
plans.
worry. You're not getting rid of us just because this series is over for now. Does not mean that you won't be seeing us this April. We have some cool stuff planned for this April. So stick around.
Know it.
To keep an eyes peeled for posts that we make on our Blue Sky.
Yeah, Blue
Or in the
Sky, or
Discord.
Tumblr, the Discord.
Yes, Discord too. If you haven't checked out our Discord, we have a really great gang of people there. It's very chill, very welcoming. Everybody is absolutely lovely. It's a small little group, so it's also not super overwhelming either. And everybody is incredibly welcoming. You're not going to feel left out, I promise. But yeah,
Patrol it very specifically
exactly.
to
Pacific.
foster that environment. Yeah.
Is there anybody in particular that you guys want to raid?
I mean, I've got a couple of suggestions.
I like to mix it up sometimes, so if there's somebody that we haven't raided before, that could be fun.
Well, here's the thing. Like, uh, Rika Reedman from the native VTubers network is on right now, who is somebody that
They're actually on a different. They're with Native affiliation now.
Ah, cool.
I was not aware of this.
Still-
See?
Still Native. I learned about it last time we raided into them.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't see these things. I'm
Oh no, you're all good.
I'm a Mayo minion.
All good.
Still Native, you know. You're all good. Still Native.
And Professor Ness herself, Luna's List, is currently playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33. There are some other, as anyone who follows me knows, I am absolutely obsessed with trans tubers. Lullitov Cocktail is on right now, just doing a Just Chatting stream.
Have we rated them from here?
I don't think
Just
we have
Chatting.
ever rated Lullitov Cocktail, but like,
Okay, let's do that then.
Kat, you are on the Trans XP account. You can look and see who we've rated recently. It's
is
right there
true.
on your thing.
Where do you see
It's
that?
right there.
He's right there. Like, we've rated Helheim Links. We've rated Archivist. We've rated Luna's List 21 days ago. We've rated Politichu, Faffy the Saffy, and that's just going back 1 month.
Yeah.
There's a lesbian Native artist that's streaming
This
right
is
now.
true. I am always too busy staring at tests.
Right, naturally.
I'm just confirming
put it
Selena's.
in
Yeah,
the.
you should. Are you a mod in this? Yes, you are. You can /raid.
Well,
Just
last
type
time I tried to
/raid.
slash raid, it didn't work out. Hold on.
It should. Maybe you didn't know how to spell. It's a
That's
common
also
issue
true.
with
That's also
Ooh,
true.
lesbian, LGBT plus, native VTuber, Monster Girls. Okay, you had me at Monster Girls.
Okay, hold on. Raid.
Uh,
Eh. It didn't work.
okay.
All I hear is caveman cooking. All I hear is
Yeah, it's really what it sounds
That-
like.
oh,
Hang on. I can type.
this. Did you do /?
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you
maybe
put
because
a
I did the
space?
ad. I think it's because I did that. I put the ad.
All right.
instead of-
Yeah, you're
Everyone,
not supposed to do that.
Yeah, there's
this
not
is
supposed
our
to be an
raid
at.
message.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
This is a raid.
Everybody for
Put your
hanging
hands where I can
out.
hold them.
What are we doing next week?
Video games.
Video game, hangout video game.
Yeah.
Hangout video game.
I might be trying to do something this weekend, or maybe on a Tuesday or
Video
something.
game. Got it.
I will be streaming from my channel tomorrow. I'll be doing a DRG collab tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, Kat might be streaming something from our channel. She has a couple things she wants to try doing, so
Yeah.
keep your eyes peeled for some new stuff coming your way.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It may be in the middle of the night because that's what my sleep schedule is now,
Or the
And that's-
raccoons have taken over.
and that's better than something, you know.
Depends who you ask, but sure.
Okay, we're rating now.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Night night, everybody.
everyone.
Well.
What a day, huh?
What a day. Good job, everybody. That was a good stream.
No,